Welcome to the show, guys. I am excited for my guest today. Again, I'm going to jump into it pretty quick in a second here, right after I talk about who the show is brought to you by. Of course, the City of Alachua Chamber of Commerce, which is growing fast. There's a lot of new things coming. Just to let you know, if you're in the City of Alachua, you want to get involved with the City of Alachua Chamber of Commerce because it's coming strong. There's some new changes happening. Some big things are coming. So jump in, get involved. You can, again, if you're a chamber member, you can get on the show. We can highlight your business, come out to your business, do some filming, do a lot of things just for you. So just wanted to put that out there. Make sure if you want to get on the show, you can get on. And, of course, the Alachua Optimist Club, which is growing rapidly in Alachua as well. They are going to be doing some amazing things in the community. Had a great music fest that Alachua put on over the weekend. Went over phenomenal. The next one's on June 5th. You want to be there. We will be promoting it again. Again, it's free. Come out. Beautiful evening. Music. It's an amazing event. And of course, the digital mortgage guy, which is me. So anyway, enough of that. So I want to get right to the guest I have on today. The guest I have on today has been doing amazing things in Ocala, and he has a huge social media following, and you'll see why when you see his artwork. When I met him, I met him watching him paint one of his murals, and it's like just watching, it's amazing how it just comes together. You see these huge murals and you go, how in the world does someone even start that? Like, you just see this massive thing. How do you put this together? Watching him it just comes out. It comes out, and his story is amazing. And so I am excited to welcome EJ NIEVES.
What's up, man?
Thanks for coming on, man, and making the drive up in the rain today. That was awesome. I'm super stoked to have you on the show, man.
Oh, yeah.
Super stoked. I mean, when people start seeing the work that you do, the artwork that I've seen, they're going to be amazed. I can see why you got such a fan base. I mean, on TikTok, you got a big following, and people just are flocking to your stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how did you end up in Ocala? First off, I wanted to ask you that. Just kind of, what's your story behind that? Coming to town, and I've seen a little bit online that you were working out of a unair conditioned facility, and you've been slowly working your way up.
Yeah. So, man, I crash landed. I crash landed in Ocala, Florida, about 2 years ago, and I used to live in Orlando. And Orlando, God bless it, it's becoming a little New York City. And with that,
I would agree.
And with that being said, man, the cost of living there is skyrocketing. Mm-hmm. It's been wild. So I'll be honest, the money pushed me out. It got to a point where I couldn't afford my rent. I couldn't afford paying all my bills, and I was making good money. I'm just gonna be completely honest and say I was making great money with the art, but great money with the rise of the cost of living in Orlando. Great money turned into fair, and then fair turned into poor money, right? In regards to the quality of living. And I was like, man, I got to figure this out. Bills started kind of rolling in, and I wasn't able to pay them. XYZ. Fast forward, I didn't want to go back home. My thing was, early 30s. I was like, man, I don't want to go back home to mom. And, I didn't want to do that. Love my mom to death. And she's amazing. She supports me. I'm a biggest fan, biggest cheerleader. But I was like, man, I'm 6 hours, 7 hours away from mom. If I move back to where she's at, she lives in a small town, not a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Opportunities are slim.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I have to stay in Central Florida. I know that in Central Florida, there's things happening. I'm still connected. I can still be connected to Gainesville, Tampa, Miami if I try my best and I'm intentional about staying in Central Florida. I have a friend by the name of Shane Morris, really cool dude. I slept on his couch in Ocala for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just really gracious and just kind of let me get my feet on the ground. And from there, just kind of started building back up, and but even still wasn't able to kind of get back to where I was in Orlando when everything was all good and the prices started going up. Became homeless, got my car repoed. At that time, the only thing that I could afford was that storage unit, an outside storage unit, no air conditioning, cockroaches on the wall, the whole nine.
Wow.
And I was painting in there, trying to figure it out, trying to sell a piece here, sell a piece there. Just trying to kind of build that back up, in the midst of all that, fell through a depression, the whole works, and just trying to fight through it. And that was 2019. You fast forward now, I have a car, I have a safe place to sleep at night, I have an art gallery now, and a mural career that's blossoming. But it's just kind of crazy when I look back at the last 2 to 5 years. It has been a crazy, incredible, beautiful roller coaster.
It's a true story of just perseverance, just pushing forward, always pushing forward, no matter what.
Yeah.
You think all of us have had our challenges, and your challenges have been tough. Because when you lose everything and you're struggling through, but you believe in what you do.
Yeah.
But you have to pivot. Sometimes you have to pivot to make things work, and a lot of us have had to pivot, and you pivoted in the right direction, and now there's pictures going to be all over Ocala and maybe even Gainesville.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe High Springs, because I know they got the big event coming in 2022, which I want to get you involved in.
I would love that.
That's the Wall Dogs coming, and hopefully we can get something in Alachua. There's lots of walls. There's walls everywhere.
There's walls everywhere.
And they're ripe to be painted on and do the right stuff on there. Because murals fascinate me, because a friend of mine painted one in High Springs, Doug Hancock, and it's of the springs, and it's a girl underwater and everything. And
oh wow!
It completely changed when you come into High Springs. Right before, it was just building, right? Now when you come in, there's people taking pictures there. There's people. It's people are noticing it. All that. It just changes everything, and people don't understand. I don't think people realize just how impactful stuff that you're doing makes. There's a mural inside of Tech City of Benjamin Franklin. So when you walk inside, there he is. Boom, just stands out, and like the murals, the octopus that you're doing, and I can't remember the name of the building.
Workspace Collective.
So when you come into Workspace, you're going to be hit with that right when you come in. The impact that art has on people is one of those things I think people don't understand it actually does.
Yeah.
So they don't realize it until it's not there, and they don't realize it till it is there.
Yeah.
And so I believe it's just a great thing to have going around, and people like yourself that have the talent to do it. Because if I went in there, it would be terrible. I'd try and draw a car, and it would be horrible. That's the only talent I have is trying to draw a car.
It's really cool, actually. So right now, I know you guys cannot see him, but you'll see his work here in a second. Ben Mangum with the Paddock, not the Paddock Mall. You're watching the Paddock Mall mural being kind of created a little bit here. Ben Mangum from Blueprint Productions created a really cool set of videos already, and we're also working on a documentary called Keep Going.
Nice.
And in this documentary, we're talking all about what you just shared.
Yeah.
It's about the impact that murals and artwork can have in a community. There's something about murals, and I started off on canvas, and I'm going to continue working on canvas because there's also something beautiful to be said about artwork that isn't a home, of course,
True.
But there's something profound that happens with artwork that is easily accessible to the community. Mm-hmm. It is available for everybody.
Yes.
It doesn't matter ethnicity, it doesn't matter social class, it doesn't matter where you're from. Work that is on a wall and public and accessible, because there are some murals that are not necessarily accessible to everybody because they're in a business under lock and key.
Yeah.
When the business is closed, the mural is closed. But for example, something like the Paddock Mall mural, which I call that Paddock's Valkyrie, and it has like the wings, and it's something that people can interact with. There's something really cool that happens when the community at large is able to take the same kind of photo, or the same, you know, like they're able to experience it the same way other people have experienced it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's why I've fallen so much in love with murals, and that's the trajectory of my career as it stands. I want to do more of that kind of work.
Yeah, I mean, I like all the attention that's coming towards it and people realizing it. I love that you're doing the media behind it to really express that for any of the people that say, you know, I don't see a need in that. I don't see a need in the expense of getting that done. And there was the octopus. And so, I mean, it's like, for example, the Valkyrie that you did.
Yeah.
You have people showing up there, standing in front of it, taking pictures.
Yes.
So for one, as a business, if you create one that's good, that is creative enough, folks will come to it. Just like in High Springs, people take pictures in front of that mural there. So it's actually an investment as a business owner. Say, if I had a building, honestly, I would probably want, there you are standing right in front of it, have a really cool mural on the side of the building, because it is a landmark.
Yes.
Because, and if you look going across the country, you'll see landmark murals and things like that people take pictures of. People are looking for experience. They like experiences, and a mural in a way is an experience, because you see it, you feel a certain way when you see it, and it makes a statement. And so you can come out there and you can see this mural and you can experience it. This one you can interact with, which is really cool. That's a neat concept behind that mural, is that you can actually interact with it, not just take a picture in front of it. Just take a picture as you're kind of in it. The wings are coming out from you, standing right in front of it. You know, so that's kind of that's the neat thing about the whole mural concept. And I think you've got a really good marketing mind. You know, you do. I've known you for a short time, but just listening to the way you talk about things, you see things in a marketing mindset. Yeah. And so understanding that, you're going to go very far with this, because you're able to market this around, not just do the work, but you're able to actually get people to understand it and get the exposure it needs. Because sometimes you can paint something, if no one knows it's there, it's not going to do is the impact you want, you know?
Yeah, I call it the wave. And the wave really, and I guess just a shameless plug to myself, because this is part of what I talk about when I'm talking to a potential client. And the wave is something that it starts from the beginning all the way to the very end. And the anticipation, the build up of the piece, you know, I'll take before pictures and just kind of get people excited about what's about to happen. I'll even throw out concept pictures, like my sketches and drawings from my books and stuff. I love documenting life, and the wave is just a way of the client being a part of my life for that season. It could be a couple weeks, it could be longer. I know for example, the Workspace Collective, the octopus, I call it the Octopoda mural. That has actually been something that has been in the works since January. So the wave for this mural has actually been a thing since January of this year.
Nice.
And now it's finally, paint is touching the wall.
Yeah.
But there's been this build up, and it's because the workspace is being built right now. So
correct.
The wall wasn't even, there was a moment when I walked in, the wall wasn't even there. It was a steel beam.
Steel beam.
But I still took a picture of it and told people, hey, this is coming.
Yeah.
What you see behind me isn't going to be what it is in 4 months and 3 months. And the wave is all about building anticipation, and also really giving it a substantial credibility, because and I appreciate what you said about me and marketing. I not only love it, I respect it, and I understand the power of marketing and social media. Those videos will be out until, you know, the end of time, or we have some kind of crazy crash, you know. But
we all lose electricity.
I wanted to shout out again, you know, Ben with Blueprint Productions, because he's done such an amazing job of capturing. We're working on this documentary, and it's called Keep Going, and he's just been able to capture so much, and the start of this, because it started a couple years ago, but Ocala has really embraced me. And before that, Lake Wells, Florida, a town about 20 minutes from Lakeland. I did a lion mural on an intersection of C Street and Lincoln Avenue. It was like 50 feet by 60 feet, huge. And it's just this, all of this has been documented. All of this has been shared. And it's cool to be able to look at the hashtags and go back. It's literally me creating my own art history. And my biggest thing, I'm writing a book called The Thriving Artist. And the biggest thing,
I like that name.
And I'm shot, this is for all my artists out there, creatives out there. You're your own biggest advocate. You're your own biggest marketeer. You're your own biggest marketing firm. Like you can hire a firm and they do extraordinary work. You can hire a videographer. You can do all the things. But at the end of the day, you are your biggest pusher. You're your biggest person that's going to say, I need this today. I need this to happen now. And you do it. And with smartphones, there's absolutely no excuse. If you have a smartphone, you
can do everything on
you have
things.
Everything. You have the capability that you need. And I say that, and I use a moment of this time to talk about that because it's so imperative. And I've met so many artists and creatives that they don't, either they're down on themselves or they don't really understand or they don't really realize that they have $1,000 piece of equipment in their hand.
Yeah.
And they'll say, I still need a videographer, or I still need a graphic designer, or I still need this and that. And at the end of the day, if your budget isn't there to acquire those things, if you have that phone, you have the world.
Yeah, you can start here. That's what we tell people all the time in my industry, in mortgage. We always tell people, you got to market.
Yes.
You can start here, and then you can, as you do better and you want better and better, you can move up to Blueprint Productions and these kind of guys that can do it to a whole nother level. But you don't have to start out there. You can just work yourself up, and you have every tool right there to get started, and work your way up. I mean, because another shout out to Blueprint. He does amazing work.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen his stuff and everything. So he does excellent work. And your future plans, is it just Ocala? Are you thinking about branching into different areas, or are you just kind of embracing Ocala all the way?
Yeah, so
because I'm trying to feed you up to here.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm trying to get you to come up here.
So what's going on now? I have an art gallery, so we'll start there. I have an art gallery, Ness Galleries.
Okay.
And it's plural on purpose. If you go to the gallery, it's near downtown Ocala, you'll notice that the word galleries is plural. And it's because the mission is to be able to have a gallery and to start major cities across the U.S. Mm-hmm. The mission with these galleries, as I'm still continuing to kind of hone in and understand how it'll work in Ocala, is that ultimately each gallery will have mentors in place, a staff in place to be able to offer children and adults alike mentorship programs, to have workshops, to learn how to acquire scholarships and grants, to be able to do all things creative. Ultimately, I would love to have, in certain cities, depending on the markets, I would love to have spaces big enough for dance lessons, painting, dirty space for my painters out there that paint and get stuff all over the walls, clean space for my graphic designers and videographers and marketing firms that need some space to get down and creative. A little similar to what's happening in here, but just to be able to have a space that there's just a lot going on, and when you come in, it's almost like a creative hub. Yeah. And then you can get taught lessons if you want that too, and then also have mentorship programs. And so that will be within the confines of Nest Galleries. Got it. So Nest Gallery, I have Nest Galleries and Nest Studios. And so the studios is where, the work happens, and then the galleries is where we display the artwork. Got it. So ultimately, Nest Galleries and Nest Studios in major cities that will be fully staffed and have tons of volunteers as well to be able to mentor children and adults alike. And then, I would love to be able to bop around, hop on a plane or get in the car and travel to these different galleries and see what they got going on.
Exactly.
It's about trust. Yeah. I know that every city is different. Every state has their own different kind of vibe and culture. So I cannot wait to see Nest Galleries and Nest Studios in different states and different cities with their own particular vibe. Well,
I mean, the strategy you're using, I think, is very smart. And it's a great testament to the way to properly market. So I've seen you getting newspaper coverage. You've got, of course, social media attention. You've got, you're getting media attention, period. I wanted to get you on here, although we have 2 viewers, but but still, we wanted to be able to expose you. And so, because there's, like you said, the wave, you're bringing a good vibe. and it's very, very interesting story, and the work is the quality work is there too. It's not like we're highlighting someone that that tapes a banana on the wall and sells it for $125,000.
I know. Hey, I will say this though, that banana came, I think, with like a 120-page manual of what to do with the banana.
The banana afterwards.
Yeah, and you were actually responsible when the banana like died.
Yeah,
you to buy another one and tape it back
on the wall in a specific way.
Oh yeah, no, there's a whole manual that came with it.
Hey, so but you know what? That's actually good marketing. You could put such an insane price to it. It's like Dogecoin. It's going insane right now. So it's just, but it has no substance.
Yeah, but it's crazy, right? Because we're still talking about it.
Yeah,
that happened in 2019.
Still talking about it. It was in 2019.
Oh yeah,
I remember when it came out.
We're still talking about this banana.
The banana. It sold for like 120 grand.
Like that.
We should create a banana.
I think we should.
I'll partner. I will supply all the
you
material.
You get the tape.
I'll
go to Publix.
Yeah, I'll supply the material.
Get the banana.
Yeah. We have formed a partnership.
Yes.
This LLC. Let's get coming soon. Watch for it. We will. The wave is
coming.
coming.
We can display it in my gallery.
We'll display it in the gallery. And we're going to give you a discount on this banana because this one's going to be $100,000.
There it is.
And the manual won't be so thick. It's going to be a lot thinner. It'll actually be as thin as this book, which I want to plug really quick.
Let's do it.
This book. I just found this. I just got exposed to this book thanks to you.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Daniel Gray too. Really.
Exactly, Daniel Gray, the man of Ocala, who was on our show last time. So this book is so cool, and the music is actually perfect for this. And I want to buy a copy for my kids because it's just awesome. And actually, I probably need to read it too. Actually, for myself. Check out the title. Hopefully, it shows. It's kind of wanting not to. It's semi-green. So, how to be a superhero.
Yes.
And so, since it's yellowy green, there we go. We got it.
There it is.
We got it. This book is cool, guys. If you have kids, you need to get this book. It's going to teach them how to be a superhero. It's by Michael Tomino, right? I say it right? Michael Tomino? Oh, I got a thumbs up. So, this is the coolest book. Dang it. There we go.
Yeah, you gotta like tilt it.
Tilt it, so it gets the yellow. It gets the yellow. It's the way it does. But it's a manual on how to be a superhero. It literally comes into find your superheroes, find your superpowers. Examples of being a superhero. Nutrition, reading.
Wow.
Creating. It's all in here. Everything you need to be a superhero. I'm getting the cape. I'm going to read this.
A yellow one.
A yellow cape, and maybe I'll have it on the next show. And be able to promote it that way because this is the coolest thing. So if you have kids, look this book up. How do we find this book?
It's on superherohill.com.
Superherohill.com.
And the website's on the back too.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, superherohill.com. Superherohill.com. You need to go get it. This is the coolest book. It's just cool. I had to plug it. He came by today, and so I wanted to say, I need that. That's got to be on the show.
Yeah, and honestly, it actually segues very nicely to another thing that I do because I paint superheroes.
Oh,
and so
that's true.
Yeah,
I have seen that. Yeah,
it's funny because I was trying to segue for you, but you segue for me. So I do a lot of Comic-Cons, and shout out to Ocala Comic-Con. It's coming back, baby. World Equestrian Center this year.
Yes.
We're excited for this. It's going to be huge. We just did Festival of Speed. Shout out to Daniel Gray again.
Best Lamborghini.
Also, shout out to Alchemy Media. They're shooting a vlog style video, 10-episode series.
Nice.
Me and Daniel Gray and our adventures. We call it the Dan and EJ show, the Dan and EJ Dan show. Because we couldn't we didn't know who was supposed to be first.
So we just kind of bounce it back and forth.
But yeah, so really, shout out, man. It's cool, man. I just thank God that, God surrounded me with so many really great people, creative people, videographers, marketing firms, all that. It's just been a really cool run.
I got to get my Boba Fett outfit.
Get it. Did you see on May the 4th that there was a city council in Texas that they all dressed up, the city council all dressed up like Star Wars characters.
No
way.
Like
the mayor, the mayor sits in the middle?
Yeah.
The mayor dressed up as Boba Fett. It was crazy. Two
is
stormtroopers right behind them.
Really?
Yeah, I shared it on my Facebook. It was awesome.
I've got it. I need to check that
Yeah,
out.
it's cool.
That is awesome. Now I would reelect all of them.
I mean, the whole.
I don't care what their politics is.
Come on, man.
You're all reelected, every single one of you,
reelected.
because that's just, especially the Boba Fett.
No, when I saw that, I was
gotta
like,
be.
okay, Boba Fett's my guy.
He is
You know, they got the Boba Fett show coming on Disney Plus soon. So.
I know. I'm. They literally will take all of my money,
All the
single
monies.
dime I have.
They know what they're doing.
They do,
They
because
came
when,
out with a new lightsaber too. It's coming out.
and because when the Mandalorian ended and Boba Fett sat on that throne.
Yeah, I had a moment. I teared up in that episode. I mean, you remember that episode, right? The very last episode.
Oh, I remember it.
I mean, at this point, guys, it's not a spoiler alert. You should have already seen it.
Yeah,
so I'm
if you
just going to
haven't,
say it.
We're not going to get sued here anymore.
When Luke came out, I mean, I had a feeling it was Luke. I started crying.
Oh, yeah,
I was standing. I mean, I was like this, man. I was like standing up, and I was crying. My mom was like, "What's going on with you?" I'm like, "Mom, you have no idea what's happening
what just
right
happened.
now."
What
This is
literally
Luke Skywalker.
What literally just happened? Seeing the way that's what happens when you have fans
Yes,
make the movie.
there it is.
That's exactly what happens, because if
awesome.
you bring in the fans, then they're going to twist it to the way that we all want to see it. Exactly what they did, because it was like,
Yeah, it was good.
Every week was brutal. Waiting till to see
was.
you had to wait and wait
was.
and wait. My son and I totally geeked out on that stuff. My wife's going, "Isn't this a little violent?" I said, "No, it's not violent. He's just killing people."
Yeah,
It's no big deal.
it was definitely a little bit more raw than your normal Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but it's
type
a
of
Western
stuff.
style.
It was
It's
good, yeah.
fine. It's. I mean, people get killed every day, and even in another world.
Yeah.
So
Star Wars Galaxy,
and
far,
I
far
always
away.
say, because my wife's like, that's just science fiction. I said it's not science fiction. It's an actual documentary of what happened in a galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
It's not. This is real life. This is real. So
Now, we're gonna need to talk some more Star Wars after the
Dude,
show, but we can have a Star Wars show.
Yeah, we could do a Star Wars
Oh,
show.
man, this is-
Dress up.
Did we
I
just
mean,
start a Star Wars podcast?
Yeah,
Is that
let's
what's-
start it. Let's start a Star Wars podcast. We might get. We'll have at least.
it
I
might
might
blow
get.
up,
I
just
might gain a
saying.
follower.
Joe and EJ.
Joe and EJ.
Star Wars. show.
Star Wars. EJ and Joe. We'll do that.
EJ. Joe and EJ.
Well, we're right at the 30-minute mark, so we made it. We made it, man. Things go by fast. Dude,
Boom.
I'm super excited to have you on the show, and I'm
was
glad you were
excited.
able to do it, because it was like literally short notice. I was like, you need to
Yeah.
on the show. Can you do it next week? I was going to come down yesterday, but my truck had brake issues.
I
so
know.
had
I
to
was
go
sad.
fix-
It was cool though.
Yeah.
I still love
But we'll get you up to Alachua, and then,
Paint a mural.
yeah, man. I already know several spots for it, right in downtown.
Oh, let's talk.
I know a couple spots. The Chamber Building needs one. They got a great wall there. We could paint Boba Fett right there. Everyone
vote for Boba.
It'll be signed off on, no problem. We'll just paint it. Let's just go do it, and we'll ask for forgiveness later.
I love it.
I like that idea. All right, guys. Y'all have an awesome day, and we're out. We're gonna go talk Star Wars
And murals.
and murals.
Let's go.
See ya.